Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here to some more Fan Fridays, and it looks like we have a single battle with the Mega Medicham. Chase, it looks like you're me from the 6th generation with that team, so let's see how it works in the 7th generation. I feel Game Freak really messed up. That they should have made Medicham one of the Pokemon available in the Alola decks. I think that you could have put it in instead of like Hariyama and stuff and then just give it the Mega Stone, because looking at these 7th generation only Pokemon, Medicham gets enough speed in that Mega to really compete with them, and it probably would have been the most viable or had like a nice little moment of being viable. And now it's back in with all the other super fast and crazy Pokemon, everything else. So in like comparison to the 7th generation, I think it's what it needed, because a lot of Pokemon were under 100 base speed, and Medicham does have enough bulk in that Mega to survive quite a bit. But also the Talonflame nerf means that's probably usable at some point, and almost, not quite, almost, and survives. Okay, so yeah, this is why I prefer High Jump Kick. High Jump Kick would murder the Silvally, but Zen Headbutt Bullet Punch is going to be enough to combo down a Silvally, and that is the power of Medicham, guys. It's faster than Silvally. So we're seeing like the good matchups right there overall, and then we just go into the Blaziken for the follow-up. Now, Blaziken is going to give Medicham a tough time unless it doesn't go for the Protect. Then that's just going to be a Zen Headbutt KO, and that's a dead Blaziken. So yeah, if Blaziken once set up, it can't really do that against the Medicham. And then this is how fast the Medicham kind of churns out some KOs. Also, if like Tapu Koko didn't exist in being as silly as it is, it could have been a lot better, because like Tapu Koko with that 130 speed, it's kind of annoying, but Medicham with its 100 speed means that it can like run Poison Jab now and then deal with all the other Tapus, and depending on how much bulk you're running on your Medicham as well, you might be able to also score a KO by surviving through a Tapu Koko as well, and that's just a little taste of power, that if Medicham outspeeds you, you die, and that was pretty good in the 6th generation, or in the 7th generation. So let's see what else we can get with these battles. Yeah, looking at a quick damage calculation, it might need just a little bit more to understand what's going on, but Tapu Koko is survivable on a Thunderbolt if you can like get enough hit point investment into it. Kind of makes me wish that maybe Game Freak went back and like changed the stats around a bit more on some of the other Mega Pokemon, because like Medicham is never going to use the plus 20 that it got to its special attack, and it wasn't really viable in the 6th generation. Like, I think it's an amazing Pokemon, but overall with the way the metagame turned out, not many people were really using it too much. I think the Talonflame nerf was kind of like a secret buff to Medicham though, because like whenever you bring in Medicham and every team had Talonflame, it kind of made it difficult to run. But when we're looking at this, yeah, maybe if it got like 10 more points in defense and special defense instead, then it'd have better chance and ranges of surviving against Pokemon like Tapu Koko. Slight amounts of hit point investment, giving away like slight amounts of damage on the attack, probably won't hurt too many KO potentials, and then you still outspeed and dunk a lot of the 7th generation. So just trying to like break down the usability of Tapu Koko in this generation. But now let's go into the battle spot and watch some more battles. And if that is, yeah, it's like, if that is not a scarf on the opponent's team, then we're going to have a pretty good time with this Medicham, just doing a lot of damage and making it matter. I feel like of all the Pokemon that got buffs, why didn't Medicham? You know, it did get a little love with the Megas, but it seemed like it wasn't enough. And now we get to see a Sylveon. So, why are there so many shiny Pokemon? Everyone in the battle spot is just hacking, man. Unlucky. And that's going to be Mega Medicham. Now, Zen Headbutt is more damage than the Bullet Punch. That's probably like the best option, unless there's a Poison Jab. And I would prefer Poison Jab over the Bullet Punch in the 7th generation, just because of all the fairies, but it looks like it doesn't even matter because of that insane damage. Like, that's probably a low damage roll that shouldn't happen, but Zen Headbutt, almost enough to one-shot the Sylveon, does find that chance to flinch, and then that is going to be just end of battle right there. Togekiss comes into play, and this is also why Medicham is really good under the Tailwind or behind a Sticky Web. If you can like set up Sticky Web, bring in Mega Medicham, well, that outspeeds everything anyways, and then everyone dies. There's the Ice Punch, one shot in Togekiss. Remember, guys, I think this is a reality check of Medicham's pure power, like literal pure insanity damage, destroys everything kind of Pokemon. So Typhlosion actually has Burn Up. Fancy little Typhlosion right here. Medicham though tanks it up. Typhlosion burns itself out, and then High Jump Kick to the face, and that's a KO. So I guess I had to be Scarf Typhlosion then if it didn't do insane damage. And that's another battle over. So, of course Mega Medicham isn't going to work this way always, but pretty much, yeah, any Pokemon that's slower than Medicham is going to die, and that's a pretty nice sentiment to see in this generation. Also, maybe even Poison Jab isn't necessary against some of the Tapus. Like, you just Zen Headbutt a Tapu Lele, and it's going to be lights out anyways. So, might want a little bit more respect. Might need to run a bit more speedy, because I was running an Adamant, like, more hit point bulk invested, because I'm going to outspeed tanky Pokemon anyway, so it's more of a tank busting Pokemon. But now this can actually deal with the average Pokemon, just because of the way like the speed changed around in the 7th generation. Let's go and check out some more battles. This is kind of interesting watching Medicham actually be strong again. It also just makes me think about Mega Stone accessibility, Pokemon Bank, all those weird things that kind of like came into play in this generation, and that as we get more Mega Stones, as more Mega Pokemon start to become available, we'll see them more, and maybe they'll find like a new niche that didn't exist in the previous generation, because when we're considering all the other Pokemon that got nerfed, all the other Pokemon that kind of fell out of the meta, new Pokemon in the meta, there might be some kind of hidden buffed Mega Pokemon that we might gain access to, and also then we're just going to have to worry about Mega Blaziken here in a bit. That's good. And, oh, actually, one other thing is that you do gain the 100 base speed on the turn you Mega Evolve now. So the matchup against Mega Kangaskhan turns into a speed tie, depending on like Fake Out and all those other like little intricacies and stuff. But the idea is still there that now you can actually like match up with Pokemon quicker, more immediately, especially since 100 base speed is more common tier. Like, they should just give Mega Medicham a 105. Or give it a 105 base speed. Still make it sweepable, but at least put it above other Pokemon. Like, I'd be okay with that, you know? Put a 75 special attack, 105, 104 on the speed, you know, just something small and weird to make it count. But that's going to be the speed boosting Ninjask setup. It's not going to work though. Like, whatever Pokemon switches in is just going to die. Or you can also Bullet Punch before the Baton Pass. So that is the case for Bullet Punch right there on the Ninjask. But if you see the Kangaskhan, you just high jump kick, and then the speed boost and Swords Dance doesn't even matter anymore on that switch in with the insane amount of damage that the Medicham is putting down. I think that's another issue, is that the priority on Medicham is almost too good to give up, but you lose a lot of the damage that you kind of need. And it was good for trading. Like, I ran Bullet Punch when I had my Adamant Medicham, because Zen Headbutt Bullet Punch, you survive, and then you just KO on outspeeds into more speeds and stuff. So that's going to be Fake Out. Kangaskhan not looking as strong these generations because of that nerf to the Sucker Punch, nerf to pretty much everything about Kangaskhan. Like, it wins a speed tie into Power Punch, but that's not going to be enough, and then Medicham is just going to get the one-hit KO in return. So Kangaskhan can gain all the stats at once, but not going to matter. That's going to be the high jump kick, and that is going to be the KO. So just kind of showing, yeah, Medicham, all it has to do is step up against the right team, and it wins. Really good in 3v3s. With that Sticky Web, kind of reduces any kind of liability for the Medicham, and then still really powerful in a 6v6 if you can kind of like take out and pick out the opponent's sweeping Pokemon and bring them down a bit. Also, if you have Thunder Wave on your team, just be some kind of annoying Pokemon. Bring like a Rotom with a Thunder Wave, try to status, force some switches, and then Medicham just happens to clean up. Like, people are talking about the insane damage on a Pheromosa. Medicham's damage is way more. It's just that speed trade-off right there. That if Medicham just had any more speed, definitely be usable. But now, you know, like, this is why, this is where you kind of learn about the Pokemon's trade-offs and stuff, and, you know, if it had any more speed, then that's now outspeeding Kangaskhan reliably, that's now outspeeding Charizard reliably, and it's able to do that much damage and just destroy everything. Like, the biggest weakness of a Medicham, so where I'm going to put in another code, biggest weakness of Medicham is high jump kick missing. You know, that's how you counter a Medicham. But there you go, guys. I know I didn't sound like super excited. Like, this seems like somewhere I'd be like, oh man, it's another sweep. Oh man, this Pokemon's taking off. The thing is, I've known about Medicham since like the start of the 6th generation. That when I was looking through all the Megas, I saw the Pokemon that were getting really popular, like Mawile and Kangaskhan. I was like, what's the sleeper Mega? What's the one that I want to bring and run? So I ran Mega Medicham for a very long time, even from like the start of the 6th generation. So I know its power, but there might be some people that came into Omega Green Alpha Sapphire that didn't see it as much. More Megas kind of like crowding it out. And then same for the 7th generation. No, this just got its Mega Evolution, so maybe there's a lot of new players, a lot of younger players that don't know what's going on. But this is the Mega Medicham, guys. This is... I'm just kind of mad now. It's like, ah, man, it should be a little stronger, you know, just to make sure it could be reliable. But yeah, and now that there's not as many other Megas available, maybe now's like Mega Medicham just going to get a nice little run of viability here for a bit. Oh, that's going to be Solgaleo, though. So Sunsteel Strike from Solgaleo. Remember, Solgaleo doesn't actually hit insanely hard, you know? It does have a high amount of attack, but it's not like an outrageously overpowered Pokemon. It has a lot of bulk, hit points, defenses, and stuff like that. So Medicham high jump kicking it, still a KO. That's pretty nuts. That's a neutral hit, too. That's the power of Medicham, guys. So, there we go. Just kind of saving it here at the end, showing you what's up. And then Buzzwole just gets outsped and headbutted. I mean, if Buzzwole was a problem before Pokemon Bank, and now it doesn't seem like much of a problem. But yeah, if it still was, you know, he just outspeeds and headbutt it. Doesn't get a chance to do anything. Even then, like, even after a bulk up, you can probably get enough to KO a Buzzwole. Unless it's full hit points defense after bulk up. I want to run a quick damage calculation on that, just to, like, kind of confirm some suspicions. Oh, wow. Buzzwole is a lot tankier than I gave it credit for. Holy crap. So, if you go, like, full defense tank Buzzwole, which actually still works out pretty well. Still a 2-shot, which is very respectable for the Medicham with the amount of damage I can put out. But yeah, that's actually pretty surprising. So after bulk up, makes it a bit harder. But even then, like, Buzzwole doesn't have crazy damage in return, and then you're just getting like constant outspeeds and constant damage down on the Buzzwole. And if at any time there's a flinch, the game ends right there. So against a not full defense tank Buzzwole, that's why we couldn't see the one-hit KOs. I thought it was just going to be more damage because of the Mega Medicham. So we do find the highs and lows of this Pokemon, depending on where the stats fall. But there we go, guys. Hope you all enjoyed this battle. You know, just Mega Medicham just dunks everything when it gets the opportunity. And it's a high-risk, high-reward Pokemon for sure. If you give it a little bit of support, it can be a little better for you. But there we go, guys. Hope you all enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.